It's the third drift without a take, so I can change the colour, I can change the style, or I can try a different part of the wreck. The tide's picking up all the time and we're getting close to 2 knots now. It's a nice big spring tide, which is what I like to jig with, or lure fish as well. I like the big tides. The neap tides are hard work. So something needs to change. I'll change the colour first and I'll do another drift and see if that does it. If that doesn't do it, I'll try another part of the wreck. So just 100 gram imp this time in the acid orange. I'll go back round, do the same drift, try that. If that doesn't work, we'll try another part. So this is a 100 gram imp and the rod's rated between 100 and 300, so this is going to be on the lower end of the ratings, so the rod's going to be quite powerful for this size jig. It's not a super thin jig, so the thin jigs load the rod less obviously because there's less drag when you lift them. The jig's coming towards me, or the boat's going towards the jig, so I'm going to gain a bit of line on this. Still on the bottom here. Just going past the corner of the rack. Fish might be on top of the rack now with a lot more current. Time to try another drift. So I've been going down the side and across the bottom corner, so I can move further up the rack, come into the side and across the middle of it. It's probably a good shout. I'll keep this rod going for the minute with this jig. A totally different area of wreck now, bit I've not even been on yet. Just beside the wreck now. on the other end of it now. So my jig's actually going on top of the rack. Couple of little bumps then. Snag. That went well. Back on the trusty Black Mac Slammer by Joker. Nice streamlined jig. It's got black on one side, blue on the other, bit of green and gold down the middle, little glow stripe down the back of it. Absolute killer jig. This is a 170 grams, the heaviest I've gone today. I don't need to be that heavy, but I want to give this rod a little trial with it. I've been using the 130 slammer, the 100 imp and the 120 imp. So this is the first drift with this one. I'm right on the far end of the rack. Fish have become a lot harder to find. So switching it around a little bit, I'm having to search the rack, and that's meaning I'm getting a few snags here and there as well. And that's fishing. Just going to skirt the front of the rack. I'm not really going to go over much of it, but there could be a snag down here anyway. Notice how it's loading the rod quite a bit more. That's fine though, it feels nice. So the 170 is getting towards the higher end of the power one. It is on the P plus anyway. This is the L series. So lovely and vertical, right on the rod tip. That's what the slammer's so good for really. Got good action as well, but it's a real benefit. Got a bit of wind against tide at the moment. Still drifting at a knot and a half, even with the wind slowing us down slightly. It's only like a force 2 though. Now we'll move a little bit further down the wreck the next drift. Searching around, I know there's some fish here. They might move back to their spots. You know, when it's tide picks up to a certain amount, they may find us All benefit to them being somewhere else. See, real bubbly slick here. Someone's been feeding. Fish. Oh, it's a nice fish. Beast it off the rack and then you can just relax a little bit. Giving up already. Large pollock. You went down nicely. Up to sea. We'll get round again. Getting very close to the wreck now, so this is just going to hit the bottom of the seabed. It's just into the orange. Come up 8 metres to clear the wreck. So that'll be all of the pink pretty much. Fish on. Forgot to tighten my drag from the drift before because I loosened it off as the fish comes up to me. That was a bigger fish as well. At least I found them again anyway. Same drift as last time. We're off the wreck again now. So I'm using marker braid. I can see that I'm back on the seabed again because I'm just into the orange. And something whacked out then. They keep catching me out a little bit higher in the stroke and it's harder to wind into them. They're grabbing it. It's not like a slack line bite. Slack line bites are fairly easy because you've already lowered the rod and then you're ready to wind into them, but when fish are grabbing it, when your rod's a bit higher, you're not ready for it. It's interesting that there's some fish on the ground behind the wreck as well, so bear that in mind for the next one.
I have so many stories, doing time in the poverty line, doing time in the poverty line. It's a life full of worries, doing time in the poverty line, waiting now in the welfare line, trying to stay strong. A few paychecks from homelessness, gotta battle with hopelessness. I'm gonna push you anyway. I will do my best. I will do my best to job with the rest. To job with the rest. We'll pass the test. We'll pass the test. Push 'em through. Push 'em through. I have so stories, doing time in the poverty line, doing time in the poverty line. It's a life full of worries, doing time in the poverty line, waiting now on the welfare line. Tales of hurt and pain, where tears cannot wash away the stain. Some are going insane, losing their dignity. I recognize the homeless lady pushing the car down the road. She was once a queen with her own crown. She just got to do her best. Got to do her best. God will take care of the rest.
It's a nice fish. You can just chill out a bit now, put it away from the wreck. We're down at the back end of the wreck again, but that wasn't beside the wreck, it was on top of it. So I'm being very careful not to touch the wreck, just fish the seabed and then bring it up. And then drop back down, but stop it early. Fish have been a lot harder to find the last hour, really. Another nice fish. Another double figure pollock. Maybe not quite double figures, but he's close.
Doing time on the poverty line.
So that's my day's fishing done. Probably fished for about 4.5 to 5 hours. Been in around about 55 metres of water, spring tide, so up to 2 knots of drift. Good conditions, just a slight breeze. It did affect the angle of the drift at times, but it wasn't too bad. The heaviest jig I used was the 170 slammer. and the lightest I used was a 100 gram imp. That's a 120, but I used the 120s, the 130 slammer, the 170 slammer, and I had a little go with the 100 gram imp as well. So the L series Power 1 and the P Plus Power 1, both by Palmarius, both done really well. Lovely rods to use. Couple of differences, obviously. This is a one piece 6.6, and then this one's a 7.2, so 8 inches or 200mm longer, and it's a two piece. So that's one piece there, and then you've got a hand, the butt section as well. So both used with Shimano O'Shea's 1500 HG on both of them. This is a limited, that's the F Custom. This one had 25-pound braid on it, this one had 20-pound braid, but I use the same jigs throughout the day. So with the shorter rod, the plus is, it's a bit more sprightly than the longer rod. The longer one feels a little bit more mellow. This one's got a little bit more life in it, although it's not stiffer, it's just got a bit more life in it. The benefits for that, it's nicer when it's under the rod tip, it just feels nicer, and you can get a faster sort of rhythm built up with it, I find, because it recovers a little bit quicker. Downsides, those are quite good positives. Downside is a one piece. Okay, it's stronger as a one piece, but you've got a travel issue, possibly. It's going to be in a tube this long. You need a 7-foot tube for it. But if you're sticking to the UK and you're not needing to put it on a plane, that's not an issue really. So that's a really nice rod. So with the longer rod, it's got slightly slower action, I think. They're both spiral wrapped, so the eyes start on the top. With the P Plus, it just goes to the left and around to the bottom, which is fine, but you'll see the spool tends to load on that side, because from this side to there it's coming into the side of the eye, and it tends to load this side. It's not too bad because you can just push it across with your thumb. On the L series, they've offset the second eye, so it's straight to there. This one goes to the right, and then the others take it back round to the left to the underside. So when it comes from this one to this one, it's basically setting it to the centre of that. And then when you look at the line on this one, it's loaded to the middle more neatly. And I haven't had to use my thumb on that one all day. So that's just a small benefit. The main benefit is for the long lifts. You're going to get a nice long lift and a long fall. So if you're using that sort of jig, it's ideal. Also, when the jig's going away a little bit more, the extra length gives you a little bit more movement, because whenever you go out vertical you're losing action, you're getting more drag. So having a longer rod, that takes some of that away. You lose it with a shorter rod, but the shorter rod feels sweeter when it's under the rod tip. Benefit with this one is you can pull it apart, and it's 5.5 foot in a tube, so you can get it inside a 6-foot tube nicely. So that's the pros and cons from one day's use. Both lovely rods, they both work the jig well. This one better for calmer conditions and fishing under the rod tip. When it gets more challenging and your line's streaming away a bit quicker, this one's going to come into its own then. Also for travelling. So this one retails at 300 in the UK. From Joker, you collect them from the boat, you can have this one for 300. If I've got to send it insured, it's another 30 quid on top of that, so 300 or 330. This one's a bit more money, it's 30 quid more basically, so 330 collected or 360 sent out. That's probably the cheapest I can do it. It might be another 10 quid on top of that. We'll see how the shipping and everything goes from the USA. But it's certainly a really nice, well engineered rod, just like this one. So there's definitely pros and cons to both of them. And basically I've got a power 1 and a power 2 of the P Plus on the boat, and I've got an L1 and an L2. So if you wanted to try before you buy, jump on the charter, learn a bit about slow pitch jigging, have a go with the rods, and you know, I think you'll be impressed with them. And I've been using the jig case here today. That's been really good. I've got loads of space today, I'm on my own, so it's ideal. But yeah, it's been a good day. I've caught, I don't know, maybe 10, 12 fish, probably 2 or 3 doubles. And I've got lots of video footage, so I'll be spending the days, no doubt, bloody editing that and get something nice out of it. Probably get 2 or 3 videos out of that. So I've got just over an hour steam now, and I'll get back for tea. Thanks for watching. Cheers.